All right, folks, welcome back. Let's dive straight into what everyone's been talking about. The latest updates surrounding the Pittsburgh Steelers and that one quarterback whose name just keeps popping up. Yes, you know who I'm talking about. Every single week, there's a new twist, a fresh rumor, and somehow we're still in the same spot waiting for that final decision. But today there's been enough chatter, enough whispers from insiders to warrant another breakdown, and that's exactly what we're doing here. So grab your coffee, sit tight, and let's get into it. First things first, the Steelers are still very much in the hunt for this quarterback. Reports came in over the weekend, and they've been trickling through even this morning, with several trusted insiders confirming what we've all suspected. The team is optimistic. They believe they're in a good position. However, despite all that confidence, they haven't received a definitive answer yet. It's one of those situations where everything feels like it should be wrapped up, but for some reason it's not. The reasons behind this delay? Still unclear. Some say it's personal for the player, others hint at contract nuances, but officially no one knows why we're still playing this waiting game. On top of that, comments from well-known figures in the sports world have reignited the conversation. Last week on the Pat McAfee show, there was a clear indication from team sources that they felt this quarterback would eventually join the Steelers. It wasn't a matter of if, more like when. However, another analyst just recently adjusted his prediction. A couple of weeks ago, he was confident this signing would happen before the organized team activities, set to start on May 27th. Now he's singing a different tune, suggesting the deal might not go through until after OTAs and even beyond the mandatory minicamp in June. That shift in prediction caught some people off guard. But when you look at the player's history, it makes sense. This is a guy who's never really been enthusiastic about off-season programs. He skipped OTAs before, missed mandatory minicamps, and still showed up at training camp ready to compete at an MVP level. So the idea that he might delay signing until later in the off-season, that's not far-fetched at all. In fact, it might be exactly what he's planning. There's also a strategic angle to this. Another respected voice pointed out that he might already have the Steelers playbook, staying sharp on his own time, working out privately, maybe even doing walkthroughs with teammates in Los Angeles. In that case, being officially under contract. Wouldn't change much except for the optics. For a veteran like him, who values his independence during the offseason, it's more convenient to keep things informal until it truly matters. Why sign early if you're not planning to participate in the early phases of the offseason program? It avoids unnecessary headlines about absences and lets him train at his own pace. Now, does this mean fans shouldn't be frustrated? Not exactly. The longer this drags on, the more impatient people get. But from a practical standpoint, those early off-season activities, strength and conditioning, meetings, light walkthroughs, are things this player can easily manage without being physically present at the facility. He's done it before, multiple times. He knows how to prepare. When the real football starts during training camp, that's when his presence will be crucial. And let's be honest, nobody's doubting his ability to show up ready. Still, there's the other side of the coin. Building chemistry with new teammates, getting into the rhythm of a new offense, that kind of thing is valuable. Even if he's a future Hall of Famer, working with a new team demands time and reps. Organize team activities, even without pads. Provide a structured environment to develop that timing, that connection with receivers, that understanding of how the playbook translates on the field. From the team's perspective, having him there earlier would obviously be ideal. But again, they seem to understand his process and remain hopeful. Behind closed doors, all signs point to mutual interest. If he wasn't genuinely considering signing, we probably would have heard by now. He has too much respect for Coach Mike Tomlin to lead the Steelers on if he had no intention of joining. That's been echoed by several insiders who've described the interactions between the player and the team as positive and ongoing. He's just taking his time, weighing his options and making sure the fit is right. This isn't someone who makes hasty decisions. He's meticulous, deliberate, and clearly in no rush. Switching gears for a moment, there's another piece of news stirring up conversation. The Kansas City Chiefs potentially looking to trade wide receiver Hollywood Brown. Yes, the same Hollywood Brown they recently signed to a new deal. On the surface, it sounds bizarre. Why would they even consider moving him? But when you dig a little deeper, it starts to make sense. Brown was brought in as insurance, primarily due to concerns about Xavier Worthy's availability. However, recent updates suggest Worthy's situation isn't as dire as initially feared. Plus, emerging talents like Jalen Royals are making waves in practice, creating a bit of a logjam at the receiver position. Hollywood Brown's career has been a bit of a roller coaster. Drafted in the first round by the Ravens, he showed flashes of brilliance, that deep threat speed, the ability to take the top off a defense. But injuries and inconsistencies, especially with dropped passes, have haunted him. His stint with the Cardinals didn't pan out as hoped, and injuries continue to plague him in Kansas City. Over the past few seasons, he hasn't come close to replicating his breakout year with Baltimore, where he topped 1,000 yards and was a legitimate WR1. So the Chiefs find themselves in an interesting spot. With Worthy recovering well and other receivers stepping up, moving Brown becomes a realistic option. Enter the Steelers, should they be interested. On one hand, Pittsburgh's receiving core could use a veteran presence with speed. Pairing someone like Brown with a physical receiver such as DK Metcalf could add a new dimension to the offense. On the other hand, Brown's injury history and issues with consistency make him a risky investment. If it were up to me, I wouldn't break the bank for him. A 6th round pick, maybe a 5th at most, would be the extent of what I'd offer. Anything beyond that feels like an overpay considering his recent track record. The potential is still there, but availability is key, and Brown simply hasn't been able to stay on the field consistently. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. For now, it's just speculation. No formal talks between the Steelers and Chiefs have been confirmed. Still, it's a situation worth monitoring as the offseason progresses. Back to the Steelers' own roster moves, there's a new name joining the squad. Max Herman out of Notre Dame, signed as an undrafted free agent after rookie minicamp. Herman is known for his special teams prowess, particularly as a punt returner, unlike the addition of Trey Sermon, who was brought in to bolster the running back depth chart. Herman's path to the roster will be through special teams contributions. He's not expected to push for significant offensive snaps, but his skill set could carve out a valuable niche role. As the Steelers continue to shape their roster, every piece counts, and Herman represents a low-risk, potentially high-reward signing in that specific role. Looking around the AFC North, drama isn't exclusive to Pittsburgh. Over in Cincinnati, the Bengals are dealing with contract tensions of their own. Star edge rusher Trey Hendrickson recently expressed frustration, pointing out that there's been zero communication about a new deal since the NFL draft concluded. For a player of his caliber, that lack of dialogue is concerning. If things don't improve, a trade request isn't out of the question, which could shake up the division significantly. Adding to Cincinnati's headaches, first-round pick Shamar Stewart has yet to join the team's off-season program, pending contract negotiations. The Bengals are notoriously cautious with rookie deals, and this situation is no different. With both Hendrickson and Stewart potentially sidelined, the Bengals could find themselves shorthanded heading into the season. Meanwhile, the Cleveland Browns are facing their own challenges. Linebacker Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah has been ruled out for the upcoming season due to a lingering neck injury. Despite efforts to rehab the injury during the offseason, progress has been minimal, leading to his placement on the physically unable to perform list. It's a significant blow to the Browns' defense, removing a key playmaker from their lineup. All of these developments highlight just how fluid the landscape is within the AFC North. Teams are juggling roster moves, contract disputes, and injury setbacks, all while trying to build momentum for the upcoming season. For the Steelers, the primary focus remains clear: securing that quarterback and solidifying their offensive weapons. Until that domino falls, everything else is just noise. But rest assured, behind the scenes, conversations are happening, plans are being made, and soon enough we'll get the clarity everyone's been waiting for. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In a move that has shaken up the NFL's offseason, Allen Lazard has officially signed a 4-year contract with the Pittsburgh Steelers. The wide receiver, who has been a reliable target in the league for several seasons, arrives in Pittsburgh with high hopes and a desire to contribute to the Steelers' quest for another Super Bowl. The signing, which took place at the team's headquarters, marks a fresh chapter in Lazard's career, one that promises to add much-needed firepower to the Steelers' offensive unit. Lazard, who spent the last few seasons with the Green Bay Packers, became known for his strong work ethic, physical presence on the field, and ability to make crucial plays in big moments. His standout performances alongside future Hall of Fame quarterback Aaron Rodgers caught the attention of NFL fans and analysts alike. The 6'5" receiver is known for his impressive size, strong hands, and ability to create separation from defenders. However, it wasn't just his physical attributes that made him so valuable to the Packers. Lazard's ability to run precise routes and make tough catches in clutch situations has made him a respected target for quarterbacks. The Steelers, after a roller coaster of a 2024 season, have made it clear that they are looking to build a team that can compete at the highest level. With an experienced quarterback in Kenny Pickett and a defense that is one of the league's toughest, adding Lazard to the offense was a logical next step. The team has been in search of a reliable number 2 receiver to complement their top option, Deontay Johnson, and Lazard fits the bill perfectly. His size and versatility will allow the Steelers to stretch the field, creating opportunities for their entire offense to thrive. Lazard's signing is expected to have an immediate impact. His ability to perform well in the red zone could prove invaluable for the Steelers, especially in tight games where scoring opportunities are limited. His presence on the field will also open up opportunities for Johnson, as opposing defenses will have to account for Lazard's size and playmaking ability, which could lead to more favorable matchups for the rest of the receiving corps. While Lazard's career has been solid, moving to a new team comes with its own set of challenges. Building chemistry with his new quarterback will be a top priority during the offseason. The Steelers' offensive coordinator, Matt Canada, has already stated that he's eager to incorporate Lazard's skill set into the offense, designing plays that capitalize on his ability to win contested catches and stretch the defense. Pittsburgh fans are already excited about the prospect of watching Lazard line up at Heinz Field, where he will be expected to deliver consistent performances from day one. The addition of Lazard to a team already loaded with talent has only increased the optimism surrounding the Steelers heading into the 2025 season. With their eyes on a playoff spot and potentially more, the pressure will be on Lazard to make an immediate impact and show that he's worth the investment. As the 2025 season approaches, the Pittsburgh Steelers have added another key piece to their roster in Allen Lazard. With his combination of size, skill, and experience, Lazard looks set to help the Steelers return to the championship hunt. Fans are eagerly awaiting the start of the season to see how this exciting new chapter unfolds for both Lazard and the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Pittsburgh Steelers, make sure to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.